Welcome to PowerTalk, a podcast designed for technology, trends, and insights. Hi, welcome to our second episode of AI in QA series. Today we'll be talking about AI-powered test automation. Joining us is Shrish Ashtaputre. He is the head of QA and DevOps at Calsoft with 25 years of experience in IT engineering. So, Shirish, now that we know the changing landscape of QA and AI, so what is the difference between rule-based test automation and AI-driven automation?
Okay. So rule-based test automations typically works well with static applications, which doesn't change frequently. But if you have an application which is undergoing a lot of changes, there are a lot of use cases it basically goes through, you will need something intelligent, which essentially AI layer provides. So it is more adaptive, in my opinion, than the static rule-based automation.
Okay. So, in your opinion, how does AI helps in test case optimization or self-healing scripts or predictive defect detection?
Okay, so the test case optimization, like I said, I'll again give an example of Caltia. Essentially, AI-based systems can analyze the changes that are going into an application, and with their intelligence, it will recommend, basically, it typically recommends the test cases you should be running instead of running the entire regression suite. So that's an optimization part. Self-healing is something where if the elements of your application are changing, let's say your UI, some web elements are changing on your UI, or some API methods are changing. So essentially your automation scripts, they adjust to those changes automatically. So essentially the logic or the pointers to those elements, etc. Those are something which are automatically healed your automation script. So that will essentially significantly reduce the manual maintenance of the scripts. And the third is the defect detection. So AI-based systems again do the pattern analysis, they do the historical data analysis, do the analysis of the components which change frequently and their potential impact on the overall software workflow. So accordingly, they will basically make you some recommendations about, okay, this could be the potential area where you might find more defects. So we should have more focused testing of that particular component. So likewise, basically AI helps in these three areas.
So in the previous episode, you mentioned about Caltia. So how Caltia is leveraging test automation?
Yes. So Caltia is basically, it stands for Calsoft Test Impact Analyzer.
Okay.
So it's an AI ML based tool which helps you optimize the test cycle. So what it does is essentially it sits in your CI pipeline, analyze the incoming code changes, and gives you the recommendations about most impactful test cases you should be running as part of your regression or functional validation. And it recommends those test cases from your existing automated tests. So the outcome is essentially shorter test cycles. At the same time, they are more impactful because you are running the test which matters the most. So that's how basically Caltia helps in optimizing test cycles.
Can you elaborate on some real-world examples for AI-powered automation?
Yeah, so Caltia is definitely one such, but even the self-healing automation is another very, very real use case we have implemented for one of our customers. So they were undergoing migration from one UI to another UI, and they wanted to make sure that their existing automation scripts, they did not have to do a lot of maintenance of those scripts. So we implemented these self-healing techniques where the AI keeps track of what is changing and automatically fixing the logic of the tests so that there is no manual effort required to maintain these scripts once they migrate to the newer version of UI.
So if a QA manager has to track any ROI matrix to measure the success, what it could be?
Yes, so that will vary use case to use case, but by and large, basically how much reduction in the test cycle time, how much reduction in defect leakage to the production, and the overall basically the productivity gain of your QA teams in terms of how quickly they write the automation code, how quickly they generate the tests, etc. I think these could be the key parameters any QA manager will track using AI tools.
So thanks, Shirish. That was insightful. Let's take the questions from our audience. So first question is, can QA automation tools integrate with existing DevOps pipelines easily?
Very much. See, most of the AI-based tools these days, they have their own set of APIs or plugins or integrations, even extensions. So yes, they can be quickly integrated with your existing CI pipelines. I don't see any problem with that.
Okay. Okay. So next question is, how do you ensure transparency when AI makes automation decisions?
Great. So I think this is a common question in everywhere when we use wherever we use AI. So basically, it's important to have an explainability in your AI applications. So whatever, for example, if we talk specifically about QA, whatever test cases are being recommended, or whatever test cases are being generated, whatever test cases are being self-healed, there has to be a justification why these tests, meaning why this test is generated, why this test is healed, why this test is suggested. So unless and until there is an explainability, there is a traceability with your recommendations and why basically that particular test is recommended, there will always be the trust issues. So explainability is very, very important in case of AI.
Interesting. Last question. What's the learning curve for a QA engineers adopting AI-based tools?
I think learning curve is moderate. Of course, the QA engineers need not be data analysts or data engineers, but they should be well versed with working along with basically these AI-based tool. How to basically use these tools effectively, how to basically prompt these tools effectively to get the best output, and the most importantly, validating the output which is generated by AI. So applying their domain contextual knowledge, applying their product specific knowledge, and validating the output which is coming from the AI. I think these three skills are going to be super important. And I mean, learning is limited to these three things, in my opinion.
Yeah, rightly said. Thank you for watching this episode till the very end. If you have any questions and queries, please feel free to write to us at marketing@calsoftinc.com. If you have missed any episode from the series, you can find the details in the description. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time.